Mike Broomhead, and I'm here with Eric from SBC. Hyperinflation, word thrown around quite a bit. Can you explain what hyperinflation is?
Okay, so inflation, which is basically the price of goods and services rising over time, is something that we experience all the time. Hyperinflation is an elevated level of inflation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So, I mean, when we think of inflation, a normal person, you think about gas prices, grocery prices, the things goods and services we have to have, and prices going up. Explain, though, how hyperinflation is different from that.
Okay, so those types of things that you normally would look at as far as inflation, we basically measure that by something called CPI, or Consumer Price Index. So those services we calculate and we usually study to see how much the rate of inflation was. So that's really the only way you're going to feel a normal inflation is by studying it. But with a hyperinflation, that's when things start really getting out of control, and you find that every day you wake up, things are more expensive, and then it can get to a point where people will just start dumping cash on anything they can to get their money out of the dollar, no matter what it is.
So going back to when I was a kid, would you consider the Carter administration in the years of those years when he was president, was that a time of hyperinflation?
Not necessarily. It was definitely an accelerated inflation. But as far as hyperinflation, generally speaking, when you talk about hyperinflations, it's a lot more damaging to the community around it than what we saw with the Carter years. Because with the Carter years, you also saw very high-end interest rates in the bank that they could counterbalance that inflation, 17.5% if you had a savings account, that type of thing. So that helped with that.
So what causes hyperinflation?
So all the hyperinflations in history all happen from basically escalating financial debts that are being created by a country which is monetizing or creating their currencies. So it's deficit creation by monetary policy.
Well, two things. It's no secret that we're carrying more debt than anybody in history, and we're also printing a lot of money. Is the monetizing of our dollar going to cause the collapse of our dollar?
Well, it's a good question. The answer really comes to how long the world will recognize us as the reserve currency of the world. The reason why we're able to do what we do is because we have reserve currency status. And a lot of people will argue that the only reason why somebody doesn't run to China's currency or any of the European currencies is because they're in worse shape than we are. Well, how long does that last? The minute you have somebody like China that seems to have a better currency than ours and we no longer have that reserve currency status, yeah, it could come unraveling in a matter of months or a few years.
So then the average person looks at what's happening right now and says, I need to do something. What does the average person do?
So one of the things I love is education, and we have a video that we'd be happy if our folks want to text us. We'll send you a link to it. You can take a look. It'll educate you about what's happened in past hyperinflations. It's not to scare anybody or anything like that. It's just the facts. It's the history of it. But to protect yourself against inflation or hyperinflation, gold has proven to be a pretty good way of going about it. So I would very much advise people right now to give us a call and learn how to put some gold in their portfolio if they haven't already. And if they have, get a second opinion of what you got. Maybe we can help add to that portfolio or make it a couple changes that'll be a little bit more beneficial.
I love the fact that not only that you're local, but you'll help people make that adjustment if they want to go from one thing in their portfolio to another, that you have people that are available to help them make that step. And I like the full service you guys give.
Absolutely. That's why we've been in business as long as we have.
All right, Scottsdale Bullion Coin, if you are going to do anything when it comes to finances, you're going to make any changes, you need information. They give honest information. They're a local company. They've been helping families like yours for years, so give them a call. I appreciate you coming down.
Thank you very much, Mike.